All right, guys, we're back. We're here. Pit Chatter Podcast. We're starting off really good. This is the second recording here. The board didn't go out this time, so that's a good sign.
Just your brain.
Just my brain totally went completely out. I guess 41 years old. I guess it was time for that, and is what it is. But I'm your host of the Pit Chatter Podcast, Langley Austin, also the track promoter here at Fast Franklin County Speedway. And we're here at Franklin County Speedway today. Back recording here. We've been on the road at El Rio, and then last week we went on the road a couple different places. Well, I went on the road a couple different places. My co-host, he decided to bounce on me come Thursday, which I knew was going to happen on Tuesday. But that's neither here nor there. And you may hear in the background, some race car noises. Craig Young and Troy Young, they've got their modifieds out here. I believe they're testing for Orange County for next week. If you hear race cars, just enjoy the sound. But anyways, alongside of me is my co-host, Noah Hinchee, or Boss Hog, as I called him Saturday. I don't know if he liked that nickname or not, but I don't really care.
The intention wasn't to look just like Boss Hog, but after looking at the pictures, I look identical to Boss Hog.
And then you were like, well, I don't even know why I got mad at
Not even the cool one. If I'm going to be Boss Hog, I'm going to be the Burt Reynolds version, not the...
I don't think you got quite the figure to be Burt Reynolds version.
No, I don't.
You what is his name? Sorrel Burke? Is that what his name was, I believe?
I have no idea.
The old guy that was the original Boss Hog, but I'm sure I got that name wrong. But whatever. I'm close. But
I had somebody else tell me I look like what's his face? What's his name? Pappy O'Daniels from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Wow. I had somebody tell me you look like Whitey, so I don't.
I was trying to avoid that.
Same hat, I think.
I was trying to avoid that intently. This outfit just backfired.
Well,
it's $70 for nothing.
$70 to be 312 degrees.
Oh, it was hot.
Oh my God, it was warm Saturday, which was
cheap
great.
Outfit. I thought it was going to be thin and comfortable. I was wrong.
Well, it was thin. But it wasn't. It didn't look like it was air conditioned there at all.
It was not.
Not breathable. Not like dry fit clothing or something. But got one in the books this past weekend. The Teddy's Water Hauling Winter-Thaw is in the books finally. I'm gonna retire that name for a while. It won't be the Winter-Thaw for a while. I'm gonna retire that name. But Teddy may sponsor another race before the year's over with. So who knows what's gonna happen there? So I'll have to keep saying Teddy's Water Hauling, which I don't mind saying that. It's just adding the Winter-Thaw to the end of it that makes it more difficult to say. Got that one in the books this past weekend, and man, what a great day for a race.
Yeah, it was. And the race, surprisingly, smooth.
Honestly, it was too smooth for our own good.
Yeah, it was.
We sat down last night at our organizational meeting, and, we kind of go around the room and, all right, what was good, what was bad, and I didn't hear enough bad. And you would think, man, that's a great thing. But for me, I'm like, man, well, what do I fix? Luckily, I had enough things in my own mind that I thought was bad that I'll be able to work on those. A couple mistakes on my part people may or may not have noticed, but things that I can fix going forward. I ain't even going to mention them. I'm just going to fix them and move on. One thing I will mention that we've got to fix and kind of ran up against the against time there. This tower, getting put in took a long time. To get it to where it's at, to get it to where we can get it open. And then we started putting the PA system in Friday, and somehow somebody stole my speakers. Had 6 speakers down to 2. I don't know what they stole. One, they stole 2 used ones and 2 new ones. I'm not really sure what sense that makes. But care. Apparently they did not care, but they left me 1 new one. Well, I appreciate that. Whoever you are, whoever got my speakers, I appreciate you leaving me 1 new one. So I had 1 new one and 1 used one, and it just wasn't powerful enough to get the sound across to everybody. So we've got 4 sets of double speakers with similar power, actually the same exact power. Each one of them is 15 watts that we'll be bringing on for the next race. Hopefully we'll get them in the right spots and get them tuned in, and everybody here will be able to hear everything that we've got to say on the microphone. Or I don't know, do they want to hear everything we've got to say on the microphone here?
Probably not. I mean,
they definitely don't want to hear everything Keyshawn's got to say on the microphone. I can tell you that right now.
That's the part I want to hear.
You do, but the families that are here enjoying the races with their kids do not. So that's a whole other story for another time. But anyways, speakers, we're working on that. hopefully the backside concession will be open by the next race. If not, hey, look at the tower. Below the tower, front side concession stand, it's open. If you're in the pits, pit concession's open. You said you got a couple hot dogs. You said they were pretty good, right?
Oh, they were banging.
I mean, that's
chili, mustard, and onion, the classic way, and they were phenomenal.
That is a high compliment coming from Noah because he's never told me anything was good here before.
I'm the glizzy expert. Anybody that's been to Hex Haunted Attraction knows that. And those were some 10 out of 10 glizzies.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm going to take that as a high praise and roll on down the road with it. So hopefully we'll continue to expand our menu. We didn't really have a whole lot of things on the menu this week, just trying to get back up and rolling. And you can hear a little work going on in the background here. We're continuing to work on the tower. They're actually putting the air conditioning in, which we need desperately.
Oh, yeah. I went upstairs to the top floor on Saturday for like 15 minutes. I was like, I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't pass out up there.
It was horrible.
Yeah, well, it happens. But I'm going to let those sounds play in, and it'll be okay. It's part of the show. But like I said, we've got the tower continuing to come together here. Got a lot of work on the inside to do still. But got it up, got it rolling, was able to use it Saturday. And for one of the first times that I can remember ever, scoring worked flawlessly here. Apparently, the key to making scoring work is not having DSL internet. It's working hotspot off your phone with one bar.
I guess that works. Hey, Wes plays Fortnite here and has great service. I don't know how off of a hotspot. So
you make a good point. Now, he's on Verizon. We're on AT&T. So I typically find that AT&T picks up better speeds, but whatever. That is not an ad for AT&T. They don't spend any money here, but no cell company does. So
but they're welcome to.
Yeah, they are welcome to spend plenty of money here for sure. Well, let's dissect some of the races from Saturday night. We can start out with that first Stock 4 race. Your brother, Josh Hinchee, or you're his brother. I don't know how we're supposed to introduce that,
brother.
but Josh Hinchee dominated the first Stock 4 race, qualified on the pole, and drove away. Unfortunately, he drove himself right to the tech line, and he did not make it past there.
I don't remember that part. I just remember him crossing the finish line. He took the picture. He got the interview, and that's what I remember.
Selective memory here, selective memory. But he wasn't alone in the tech line having tech problems.
Not at all.
Josh got popped for weight. I believe it was 82 pounds. And camber, which I believe he was off by 3 degrees, which is a lot. 82 pounds is a lot. It's all a lot. All of these guys, all the mistakes that they made this weekend, which is fine. Man, first race, that's what happens. I mean, people get popped sometimes. But he wasn't alone, like I said. Second place in that race, Keyshawn Clater, he got popped. He did not pass. He was light. He didn't even bother to get on the scales. He already knew he was 200-some pounds light, so he just rolled on over to the backside. Gary Smith, talking to them, I think they had some sort of confusion about burn off or no burn off or whatever, which, it plainly states in the rules that class has no burn off. So no matter what, if I said it had burn off or Noah said it had burn off or your pastor says it has burn off, it don't make any difference in the rules. It says it doesn't. So that didn't play out too well, which it wouldn't have mattered anyways. They were 40 pounds off. So burn off didn't play.
That's a lot of fuel he burned off.
That did not play any factor whatsoever.
Which leads me to believe maybe y'all should check his injectors next because he's got a water hose dumping fuel into them.
I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why he lost so much. You might be right. I'm not sure. Whatever. So he gets popped. Josh Brown elects not to even get checked. He already knew he was light. Heather Fackler was light. Gosh, who else? Let's see. Let me pull up the results here.
Yeah, I feel like there was one more in there.
No, that was it. It was those 5. And unfortunately for me, I've worked so hard to try to keep Wes Givens from winning races. He finishes 4th in this race and still comes home with the trophy. That pisses me off.
Somehow. Wes always finds a way to get it done. Even when he loses, he still wins. I don't even know.
Frustrating, man. Frustrating. Jaden Austin driving Wes's backup car, or his other car. I'm not going to say it's his backup car. came home second after all the disqualifications. Larry Altus finished third after all the disqualifications. And James Chrisley, a newcomer who had a Cobalt, he finished fourth after all that. What that's kind of the class that you raced in the most. What do you, new rules, new deal, what do you make of all of that from Saturday night?
Well, they're going to have to get more creative out there. That's all I know.
It's really dumb. I told somebody else this. If you're going to cheat in any area of the car, dear God, don't make it weight and camber. Two things is getting checked.
Well, for Josh, I don't know about, he was the only one that got popped for camber, but.
Well, I think a couple others were off on camber, too.
At some point, we must have misunderstood because we could have swore it said camber with the driver. And apparently it's camber without the driver. So that does affect a little bit.
Yeah.
But either way, he still would have probably been over.
Yeah. So, whatever.
Got to see how much you can get away with new tech man.
Well, I guess night one, Donald Clay showed him he wasn't playing with him, huh? Safe to say?
Yep. He got mad at me. Threatened to throw me out on my first night working as the announcer.
That's great. It happens. Little less controversy in Stock 4 race. Well, I'm not going to say it's less controversy. I'll say it's just as much in Stock 4 race number 2. Let's go ahead and dive into it. I was going to wait, but let's go ahead and dive into Stock 4 race number 2. Jaden Austin ends up winning it after starting from the pole, after inheriting the pole, after Michael Altus or Larry Altus, whichever one was driving the car, had a problem with their transponder. They didn't have a transponder in the right place, didn't have it right pointing in the right direction, any of that stuff, which they've got to get fixed before this next race. He takes home the win. Keyshawn Clater finishes second. Josh Hinchee finishes third. Gary Smith fourth. And then Larry Altus, James Chrisley, Heather Fackler, Josh Brown. Wes Givens finishes dead last after he thinks he locked up his motor. Just as much controversy there, though, in a couple different ways. Keyshawn and your brother there, they were going at it out there.
Yeah, they were. And I'd like to say, Keyshawn, maybe next time say thank you for that tire my brother gave you so you could run that race and then proceed to beat the hell out of him.
That was a thank you, wasn't it, when he tank slapped him
yeah,
there?
when he tail whipped him out there.
Yeah.
Josh gave him a little love tap, showing him his discomfort after the race. Keyshawn didn't like that too much.
Yeah, he went on a little tirade, and we apologize for the language that you heard there. Well, Noah doesn't apologize, but I do. Apologize for the language that the fans might have heard after that. Continuing controversy when they get on pit road, go to the tech line. For whatever reason, they did not weigh the cars.
Yeah. I know of at least 3 drivers that were just ecstatic because they knew for a fact that their cars were light.
Yeah. So, interesting time there. I guess things continued on there, but it didn't matter. Nobody got disqualified out of that race, so, all's good, I guess. Man, Stock 4s, 2 races down, started off with a bang, but same winners, same guys who pretty much dominated the second half of the season last year after you dominated the first half of the season.
Yep.
And then gave it up to Wes and Jaden.
Yep.
And now here they are winning again because you're announcing.
What's most surprising is that I think they both made it through with no cautions the whole night.
Yeah,
How does that even happen?
I don't even. Listen, first question out of Wes's mouth. What happened to competition cautions? I said, I don't know.
Yeah, Wes loves a competition caution. He usually works out for
it works in his favor every time, so I'm glad they didn't have one, but it didn't matter anyways. He won anyways. So it didn't make any difference. What do you think we're going to see in that class, man? I mean, your brother, I believe your brother and Keyshawn are probably, right now, they're the class of the field, my opinion. I mean, they may not have won either race on paper. I mean, Josh has got pictures of him winning, but they on paper, it doesn't say that they won. But, I mean, right now, they look to be the top 2 guys.
Yeah, and they don't like each other very much right now.
Oh, man.
Which is, it's all to get exciting out there.
I mean,
Josh was running Jaden down.
Yeah.
He got by Keyshawn, was running Jaden down, and then shredded that right front tire. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't completely – he threw the tread off of it. I'm surprised it didn't blow and throw him up into the wall. But
You would have thought maybe the tread being out there would have been a good caution, for debris or something too.
Maybe.
The thing about those two not liking each other, that's fantastic. That's going to be good for the fans because I believe they both intend to run for the championship. So, those two could go at it the entire season.
Yeah, I don't think Keyshawn was too happy with all the marks all over his nice new pretty car.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens between those two guys. And I think one of the reasons why, they had tire issues, Wes's tire had come apart, the first race. Josh's tire come apart that second race. I think one of the things that we're going to see is this weight being on there, that more weight's going to contribute to more tire wear.
Yeah. Well, what I've learned is some cars are different. And I don't even think it's necessarily a car. I think it depends brand to brand, what tire you're getting. Obviously, we're running stock tires, so there's a million options out there. But my car loved the cold.
Yeah.
So the second race of the night, which right now we're running the 4 o'clock races.
Yeah. It was still cooler.
When we were running the 7 o'clock races, that second race, my car loved to run.
Yeah.
Compared to if I would run practice when it's 85, 90 degrees, you can just throw a junk tire on that thing because it's going to be destroyed by the end of the run.
Right.
7 laps of practice.
Well, those guys run twins every week, basically. I think all but twice or something this year.
5 extra laps now, too.
And 5 more laps than they run, and they got 2 degrees less camber on the right and 1 degree less on the left. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I foresee there being tire issues all year.
Oh, it's crazy that 20 laps, you got to sit there and think about managing your tires.
Oh, you have to baby that thing. For sure. And I don't think anybody's quite got there yet.
Not yet.
I think Jaden might have done a little bit of that when he was out front. Because I talked to him for a few minutes about it, and he said, Josh was catching me, but once he started catching me, that's when I started going.
Yeah.
So maybe he's playing a little bit of a tire game. Maybe he was holding something back, or maybe he just thinks he was. I don't know.
Well, I know from my experience driving that car, whatever 2-3 races I did,
Yeah.
Where it's automatic, you got to put them big tires on there.
15s,
They seem to wear a lot better than the little skinny.
They do. They do. They seem to. And that may be one of Josh Brown's, secrets there, too.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have near the tire problems, and he runs 15s.
Yeah, it sure rides a lot smoother.
Oh, I believe that.
I ran up over the curb in that car. I barely even felt it.
I guess so. With that much of a taller tire, I guess you would.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, stock 4s, from a controversial standpoint, they were definitely the highlight of the night. But we had some other interesting things going on. Let's jump over and talk about the late model race, or the lack of late model race.
Whatever, 11 laps of it.
It was a 56-lap race. They managed to finish 11 laps in 1 hour.
Yeah.
I'm kind of embarrassed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough one.
It was stupid.
I didn't even get to see that wreck until last night. I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because the haulers were in my way, but that was a pretty rough one.
That was a pretty rough one for sure. Early in the race, Gennaro and Landon Nestor got together. I watched that one on TikTok. I believe it's on there too.
Yeah.
And that one was just kind of a chain reaction. And then they were hooked to one another, and it was over. The next wreck, Jesse Arrington threw it in there, and poor old Eddie Walls went for a ride. Well, then Jesse went for a ride over top of him.
Oh, yeah, he monster.
And then Landon Nestor come. I think Landon Nestor thought he was going to miss it, and I think the wreck came to him.
Yep.
I don't think he got much time to get on the brakes.
Like I said, I didn't get to see it, but I saw it when the wrecker pulled that thing around, and I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. I seen a picture of it on Facebook earlier. Looks like they got it about back together, so they'll be ready for the next race. Eddie Walls won't be back in the car this next race. Dakota will, his son. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure all those guys will be back together. Hopefully we'll have another good – that was a 7-car field. I hate that we live in 2024 and we got to say that 7 cars was a good field. They had 11-12 at South Boston the last race. For us to be 4 or 5 off from them, I'll take that any day of the week. Yeah. So in that race, Jimmy Mullins pulled off the victory, which was his first late model win here since 2020. He won a race here. Dennis Holdren got disqualified out of in 2020, and that's his first late model race. Of course, he's been dominant in the Super Street division every year, Chargers, Super Street, whatever it is. Matthew Lawrence, relative newcomer. I think it was only his second race. He won his first race last year that he came home second in this one. Tyler Ashley out there with looked like sway bar broke or something, rear end hanging out from underneath that thing.
Yep. Thing looking like one of them Crayola cars out there, dude.
Yeah, it had about 3,000 colors on it. I told him, I said, if you add one more color, you'll have every one of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I told him that when he come in, but he ended up third, a couple of laps down, I believe. Eddie Walls finished fourth, Jesse Arrington fifth, Landon Nestor sixth, and Gennaro Palumbo come home seventh with a pretty tore up race car. Hopefully, he'll be able to get that one fixed and head back to see us. Mini stocks, Carolina Mini Stock Challenge was in town. Man, it's always good to see the big boys come in. You know, A.J. Sanders. Anytime you can have a race with A.J. Sanders, Chuck Wall, Shane Knipe, Tim Knipe, those guys, I mean, you're in for a treat. And they definitely put on a good show. The 24 of A.J. Sanders and the 10 of Tim Knipe, they battled it out pretty hard up front.
Oh, they was going hard at it. I was waiting for something to happen, but somehow they managed to keep it pretty clean for the most part.
Yeah, two veteran racers who have won a lot of races. Tim Knipe's never won a race here. It's only his second time here, and he finished second the last time he was here to Daniel Hudson 2 years ago, I believe. They put on a good show, man. It looked like that 10 car had a heck of a motor in it, though.
Yeah, it did.
That thing would pull down the straightaway.
I heard him pedaling it a couple times.
I'm telling you. Somebody told me that they were afraid it'd get protested. I don't know if that's true or not, but, whatever. Either way. AJ come home with a win. Tim Knipe finished second. Jason Lester in the 32 car finished third. Man, he had to overcome some stuff. He had carbon monoxide getting in the car. He lost his transponder, had to go down pit road, put another one on there. Came back and finished third. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He was a trooper, too.
Yeah.
I left him alone. I said he was laying on the ground. He said he was cool. He just needed a minute.
Yeah.
So I went on and did the interviews, second and first, and
yeah.
I walked over there and said, "You want to do an interview?" He said, "Hell yeah, I'm from Florida. Let's do it." I was like, "All right, buddy."
Yeah. Shane Knipe come home fourth. Blaine Curry fifth. Chuck Wall, who dominated, I believe, the first two Carolina races at Hickory, or I don't know if that was the first two of the year, but the last two, a couple of weeks back, he finished sixth. He did not have a good day at all. He was never really a contender. Dennis Holdren had his new car out. That thing was looking sharp.
Yeah, looked clean.
Wasn't running up front, though. Finished seventh. Chris Amos struggled through the day, speed-wise, just not where these other guys were. But, of course, he didn't have the Cobras on. I mean, that was a half second to a second, difference in speed there.
I think I saw on Facebook he blew his motor up or something.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Did he? Yeah, well, there you go. A trio of DNSs did not start. One was Jesse Yop. He got into a crash during practice. I didn't see it. I don't know what happened. He ended up in the backside wall on the inside. Scott Foley broke a transmission, he said on Facebook. He didn't get to start. And Chad Asbury, they never rolled that car out. I think they were thinking that we had a regular mini stock race and a Carolina mini stock race, so they were here for the regular mini stock race, but whatever.
I should have went out there. Who cares?
I mean, yeah, I'd have went on and got my start money anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, but it was good for me. I didn't have to pay them, so I'm glad they didn't. Really appreciate it. Really the race of the night, the Legends cars, and I think we're probably going to say that a lot this year. The INEX Legends cars, Manita Tractor and Trailer Legends put on a great show. Ethan Troll and Scott Heath started on the front row, but Chris Lilly, he won 5 times last year, and he took home his 6th win this time.
I didn't notice how many of these things there were until they went out there for practice, and they were all pacing by, and I was like, holy hell.
It looked like 30 of them out there.
There's a bunch of these little...
Yeah, I'm out there, I'm looking, and I'm like, holy crap, man, it looks like we got a ton of them. And then I'm counting them. I was like, well, there ain't half as many as I think there is, but, man, it looks good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Jay, didn't he split them for qualifying? Because there were so many of them, he had to split the field in half so they could get some good laps in.
Yep. It took a while to run that race. Had some just stupid things happen back to back to back. Took a little bit to run that 30-lap race, but Chris Lilly coming home with the victory. Ethan Troll finished in second. Ethan had a great run. Those two guys are going to battle all year long for wins. And I say those two, Scott Heath was right in there with them, and James Folds was too, and Nathan Weed. I mean, if you look there, those 5 guys throughout most of the race were running like under a blanket right there. I mean, they were all together.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very competitive. Scott Heath finished third, which ironically is the number on the side of his car. James Folds, our inaugural champion, our reigning champion of the Legends division, he finished fourth, and fifth was Nathan Wheat. Sixth, I mean, that's your boy Wes. He got him a sixth place finish in his first Legends start.
Yeah, it's not bad for how many there were.
I mean, listen, he finished in the first half of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, and against people who have run Legends cars for quite a while. And nobody else was at their first race, I don't think.
Yeah, I just hope that some other guys from around the area see what's going on, see how many cars. I can't wait to come here one day and there's 40 of them things out here.
Lord.
It's going to be so awesome.
It's going to be something for sure.
Like mini Daytona out here.
And I think before the year's up, we're going to see some pretty good-sized fields of those guys. I mean, like Brad Shiflett was at Dominion. He's going to run with us. Kyle Klingenpill had a carburetor issue. He's going to run with us. There's a couple of other local cars that weren't here. And then there's a couple other people who have normally traveled down to race with us off and on, and it just wasn't one of their weeks to be here. So, I mean, I think we could easily go from, 13 to 20. Or, I mean, I think on a steady basis we're going to have 10 plus.
Yeah, it's good for business. It looks good.
It does, and it was like I said, it was a great race. I mean, it was the overall the race of the night. Those top five guys running right there together. Ethan Troll and Chris Lilly, being side by side for much of the race, kind of like they were when they finished a dead heat last year. Great racing. I'm really, really proud of what those guys have done. Built that class up. We started that thing 2 years ago. Just randomly, I posted on Facebook because somebody was here practicing. I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Folds or Troll or one of them. They were here practicing, so I posted on Facebook. I was like, man, we should run these cars. We get any? And it's like, yeah, come on, do it. And Kyle Klingenpill, local guy, went and bought a car. And we started off with 3 or 4 of them, and here we are. 13 car field this week to open up the first INEX race. And it's only going to grow from here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't really imagine that they would grow to be what they are now, and they're still on the up. So
yeah.
Who knows in a year or two what these Legends of cars are going to look like here?
I agree 100%. 100%. It could be very interesting. Behind Wes, Austin Sams finished 7th. I know they've been working on getting him dialed in with the new engine in his car and all. Had a couple of visitors from down around Charlotte, McKenna Crocker and Gracie Crocker. They finished 8th and 9th respectively. Beautiful cars.
Oh, they look slick.
Oh man, they were very beautiful cars. Glad to have them in the field. Hopefully they'll be back. I didn't get to talk to them after the race, but somebody did and said they were planning on coming back up to race with us. Phil Smith, who usually comes with Chris Lilly, he finished 10th. 11th was Justin Landis. He's showing some promise out there. Got that new motor, and he ain't quite got there yet, but he's getting it dialed in, I think. Charles Parker finished 12th, and Tom Weaver was 13th. What vintage cars? I skipped over the vintage cars. I didn't talk about them, and I don't have all their results here in front of me because I forgot to put them in the computer here earlier. But Jimmy Mullins in that Gremlin taking home the win over Barry Dalton in the modified portion of that, and then that number 11, that orange, pretty orange 11, stole the win away in the sportsman division.
Oh, that was crazy. He went from a spin to a win.
He done spun twice too. I mean, he goes out there and gets him a victory, beats David Lyles out for that. I believe we had 9 or 10 of those guys. One of our best vintage fields here. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I think every field except for the late models was really close to. I mean, the 81 was going to be driven by Randy, Winningham until Jaden, had the 77. They couldn't get it finished in time, so they would have had 10 of them start the Stock 4 race. It had 11 mini stocks here, 13 Legends, 9, I believe, vintage cars, and 7 late models. I mean, it's a dang good turnout for opening weekend here.
Yeah, it's a really good field.
No more 3-car races.
I hope so. As much as I love the Legends, those first few races where there was only 3, 4, 5 of them, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, well, that, and, Stock 6 where you'd have 1, 2, 3, whatever. I got a lot of heat, during the winter for getting rid of all the other divisions: bootlegger, Stock 6, Divas, rookie, whatever else we got rid of. I can't even remember.
The stock 6 had so much promise.
So did the bootleggers.
And then everybody just stopped showing up.
I agree.
Especially the ones that, try to wreck people, and then they talk trash about how they're going to wreck them next week and then don't even show up.
Well, they sold me a few tickets that week, so that was good. I mean, I wish they'd showed up to sell a few more, but,
Well, yeah. That Stock 6 was always drama-filled.
Yeah. I believe, some of those guys in Stock 6, like Joey Scott, I believe he's building the Cavalier for the Stock 4, so he'll still be running in that. Some of the other people, Heather Fackler, from the Divas class in the Stock 4 this past weekend. I think we got a good start, man. I think that was as good a start as we could have hoped for on Easter weekend.
Yeah, I mean, compared to last year, as messy as that was, with Wes losing his head and all kinds of stuff going on out there.
The bootlegger demo derby, yeah.
Yeah, that was very smooth.
Yeah, it was. And good fields and everything else, man. I'm pretty excited. Had a decent fan count. I'm not going to tell you we had 1 million people here, but we had a decent fan count for what we expect to draw here.
Everybody showed up late.
Yeah, they did.
Last minute. I was looking up at about 3 o'clock, like, uh-oh.
Listen, during the autograph session, I'm looking out here. I'm like, man, there's like 20 people standing down there getting autographs. I look up in the stand. I said, dang, there ain't but about 10 more people up there. Yeah. And then when I drove out on my golf cart and looked out at the gate, the line went down over the hill. I said, well, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Here they come.
Everybody was just leaving their Saturday Easter activities trying to get to the track.
Probably so. So glad everybody was able to come out and celebrate the season opener with the Teddy's Water Hauling WinterThaw with us. And what's your major takeaways from the weekend that we haven't talked about specifically divisions, but just your takeaways of everything overall? I
mean, Keyshawn and my brother Josh, that's going to be.
It is.
I have a feeling that's going to be. At least a half a season-long deal there.
I think it'll last all season.
No, probably not. But that's going to be fun to watch. These Legends guys, those 5 core guys that you talk about, that's going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah, and I think you could see, like, if Wes gets more time in the car, he didn't get one practice, I think. Yeah. I think if he gets more time in the car, more time to get it set up, I think he'll meet with them. I think Austin Sams is, one step away from being right there with them. So, I mean, that's 7 that could be right there in one group. Then you got Brad Shiflett and other bigger name guys. Charlie Beals wasn't here. He won, 4 or 5 races with us last year. He wasn't here for the opener. So I think I think that could get even more interesting.
Yeah, I like my new job too. Announce it. I feel like I can enjoy the races a lot more.
Yeah, well,
rather than being distracted with stuff all the time.
Listen, it's got to be more enjoyable to be able to stand over here on the front stretch than to be over there parked up against the backside wall when you hit it head on.
Yeah, it was a lot more fun. Hurt a lot less.
Even jumping up and down off the wall don't hurt that much, huh?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm fat. My knees can't take that, man.
I'm gonna have to get you a set of steps built. Your future father-in-law, he might get you a set of steps built or something.
One could only hope.
We need them on like a pull rope where we can pull them up after the
fold
race
down ramp.
Yep, exactly like that for sure. Looking ahead a little bit here. Next race on the schedule is April the 13th. That is the Pepsi Gold Rush night. Always enjoy the Gold Rush. Kids get out there. We throw the coins out. We'll probably have about anywhere from 1,000, 2,000 coins out there for them to pick up.
Yeah, they better watch out. I ain't gonna be over on turn 2 no more. I'm gonna be up here.
Oh, you gonna be over here trying to steal?
I'm gonna stiff arm them kids. I'm gonna give me some money.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be over $200 out there. I'm trying to get me some. This time, I think I did the first time. I think we got some 50-cent pieces and different stuff, mostly nickels and stuff. But get some quarters and get some 50-cent pieces, maybe a silver dollar or two, and throw out there. So that'll be fun.
If you're bringing the kids, bring your bike. That was a very disappointing kids' bike race. And we lost one right after this.
Lord Jesus.
We had a man down. That's the first wreck on the kids' bike race I think I've ever seen.
Poor Jason Weed. He went for a ride.
He did. But you know what? He manned up. He got back on that thing, and he finished that lap.
And he did. He finished. And then we had Grayson. He come out there about 3 hours too late.
Yeah, he was already 3/4 lap down. He kept flying in there.
Grayson is Wes Givens' son. He jumped out there and caught. I'm not going to say he caught back up to him, but he did finish the lap at least.
Yep, he did.
Jason Wheat, that's Nathan Wheat's son. He's the one who went. And I mean, literally, he goes like head over. I think his helmet got him. You think that's what it was?
I don't know. I've never seen a bike wreck like that.
I think he had like a real helmet on. I think his helmet got him and he just went flipping over top of it.
I guess too heavy. He's too top heavy.
I guess. In addition to the Gold Rush, we've got 56 lap, hopefully 56 lap late model race,
or an hour,
or Jesus, or 56 minutes, whichever comes first. They are time limits on all the races. 30 lap legends again this time, and I believe we're running against a lot less people that are running legends races that weekend. So there's a lot less of them. So hopefully we'll gather up some of the travelers, some of the people looking to get points. 30 lap mini stocks, and this time it'll be our mini stocks. So, we'll have Josh Phillips and Scott Foley and who knows if Doodle Lang will show up this first race. Brittany Cochran could be here for this first race. You got Jason Campbell's been getting his car ready. West Golf's car looked really good out at the car show in Roanoke. So hopefully those guys will put on a good show.
I'll tell you what, Brittany comes out here and puts on a show for them boys. Shows them how it's done.
No, she does not put on a show. She puts on a clinic, okay?
Yeah,
and
every time she comes down here.
And they do not like it.
Oh, I know.
But
it's hilarious.
There ain't nothing they can do about it either. So the stock fours will go for 20 laps 2 times again, so twin 20s for the stock fours. That'll be the continuation of the Hinchee Clater feud. So that'll be exciting to watch for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then we roll over into April 27th. So there's 2 weeks. 2 weeks after this. So we got 2 weeks this time, and then we got 2 weeks next time. We get to United Rentals 200. That'll be the first kids rides in the race cars for the season. I know you always enjoyed taking the kids around.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, put a smile on their face. Similar lineup for that race. That's just same local divisions, 56 lap late models, 30 lap legends, 30 lap mini stock, and twin 20 lap stock fours. And then we get into the month of May and we race quite a bit more. Got 4 races in like 16 days.
Well, that's good. That's good for me.
Yeah.
I like them old double headers. Those are always my favorite weekends.
Yeah. Well, especially, Friday, May 24th is the Foxfire Towing Kenny Menor Classic. Also got the Modified Racers Reunion. That'll be a 110 lap smart modified race.
My favorite night of the year.
Yeah. You were talking about watching these guys earlier and how much you like these modifieds.
Hopefully I get to talk to Bobby Labonte and Ryan Newman.
Well, I mean,
they'll probably kick me out. They'll be like, we have our own interviewers.
Well, they do, but, man, you can still be doing TikTok.
No, I'm going to just jump in there. Excuse me, sir. This is my track. I belong here.
Yeah, well, Bob Dillner will probably punch you in the nose or something. So.
Yeah, that'll be good for TikTok, too.
That would be good for TikTok.
Maybe we'll get on Flow Racing for that one.
Probably. But got a lot going on in the month of May. Mother's Day giveaway for May the 11th race. That's the first time the Grand National Super Series comes here. We're going to have Jeremy Mayfield here for that race. That'll be a fun one. Since you were too scared to talk to him last year, maybe you'll get to interview him this year.
He was busy.
Yeah, busy. Yep. I mean, you went into the bathroom with Bobby Labonte to talk to him, and Jeremy Mayfield was too busy. Not. Come on, man.
I did not. I was walking in. I did not know he was in there. Okay?
You followed the man in the bathroom.
No,
Let's just be clear here, okay?
No, I did not.
I mean, I got a whole lot of other things I could say about that, but I better skip them. PG here, boys. We're staying PG here. Moonshine Nationals is on May the 18th, and that's the Cruisin' Rocky Mount. Cruisin' Rocky Mountain Moonshine Nationals. And speaking of Cruisin' Rocky Mount, that is where I will be this Saturday. Got to round up a couple cars to take with me to put on display down there. But I'll be down there and cruising Rocky Mount while all the cool cars are out there. Maybe Noah will join us. You never know. He's busy on the weekends. I don't know what happens, but he's busy on the weekends.
I'm famous. I can't help it.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm making deals.
Are you taking your outfit? And you're doing a kids party, ain't you, this weekend?
Yeah, I am.
You got a kid's birthday.
$20. Call me up.
$20. Is that all it costs?
Yeah, $20. Look,
Lord,
I'm
Jesus.
hurting. All right,
Well,
I got to start somewhere.
Lord.
I'll do your kid's birthday, your grandma's. I'll do weddings, whatever y'all want, but you have to pay for me to get ordained.
I'll pay for you to get ordained just for the entertainment value.
I'll do it.
I mean, you can do the class online.
Somebody do it. I'll marry you right now, right here on Victory Lane.
Who we going to marry? Who we going to marry off?
I don't know.
Wes and Michaela?
Sure.
I mean,
that would be fitting.
That'll piss Wes off. So that would be fun. Anyways, we're spiraling out of control here. So
Yeah, a little bit.
anything else? Anything else you take from this past weekend?
Trying to think. I think we done covered about everything.
I mean, you were supposed to talk about how nice the new tower was. That's what you were supposed to say.
Oh yeah, the new Hex Tower.
Yep, that's right. Hex haunted attraction and Magritte Insurance Tower here.
Yeah,
Looking good.
real nice.
I mean, we're sitting in here right now looking out to tinted windows. Looking really good here. They done loaded up the modifieds down here on Pit Road. They'll be rolling out here in a minute. Those guys, they're sponsoring the Smart Modified Tour race here. Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully you'll join us for that one. That's going to be a heck of a show. But anyways, I guess since we've covered about everything we can cover, and Noah has nothing left to say. He didn't bring his boss hog outfit or nothing. So
I love how Timmy and Daryl back get the air conditioning done when we're done recording.
well, they'll have that air conditioner on as soon as we click stop.
As soon as we walk out the building, then
Boom. I mean, you done broke out into a sweat over here. I mean, you have to go home and take another shower.
That's just being fat.
Jesus. All right, guys, that'll do it for this week's Pit Chatter podcast. We appreciate you listening, and we look forward to being back with you next week. Hopefully, we'll have a guest on for you next week, and we'll talk some racing ahead of the Pepsi Gold Rush night. Until then, we'll see you.